gentleman, well, I shouldn't say gentleman, the perpetrator, has handed himself in. And that does show the power of media, the power of people.
Waiting for the game to kick in. Some honesty rubbed off from the honesty box, because just a few days after the dirty deed, the man actually hands himself in. He has to pay compensation and is given 6 months community service. Since then, both Mark and his neighbour James have had no more thefts. They are determined not to stop trusting people.
Why should somebody spoil it for everybody else? Why should that one person spoil it for everybody else and make it put a sour feeling in people's heart?
Over Fortnite live on a Friday night. Jump in, everyone. Let me know your day's getting on.
An opportunist thief will take the chance wherever they see it, as long as they don't think they're being watched. So, a sign as simple as CCTV might just be enough to put them off.
And Mark has a message for anyone thinking of coming to the Gower Peninsula with less than honest intent, which, with so many CCTV savvy people around nowadays, is perhaps a message for all would-be criminals out there.
If we do catch you, if we do see you, we will name and shame you.
That's all for now. Join us next time when the police and the public catch more crooks red-handed.
We know that some people need a helping hand more than others when the power goes out. If you have a child under 5, are over the age of 60, have a disability, or depend on electricity for medical care, sign up to our free priority services register for extra support during the power cut. Visit our website or call 0330 1.
Thieves will steal our cars, our valuables, just about anything they can get their hands on. To cut down on crime and antisocial behaviour, police and other agencies are using new technology and tactics, while the bad guys are actually getting caught in the act.
I can see the men actually commit the robbery. Lovely, thank you very much.
Local councils, shops and businesses are laying some traps of their own.
Why should we feel frightened for the rest of our lives?
And the general public too can help unsuspecting crooks get their comeuppance.
No way are you getting away.
We did it for everyone else as well that you might be stealing from.
We will name and shame you.
So, anyone who's up to no good had better think twice. They might just get caught red-handed. Today, unknown thieves who specialise in stealing phones. The police call it special super recognisers.
We know they've got some kind of unique thing in their brain that remembers the faces.
They are experts at putting names to faces. Also today, toxic trash.
There's no excuse for dumping dangerous waste.
Flighters who put people out at risk. And the rover returns. A dozy thief who's robbed a pub and only comes back to have a pint.
He actually passes out and then he's caught red-handed.
Incredibly, staff find him still sleeping it off in the morning. Our eyes see hundreds of different faces every single day, but most of the time, it's a flash in the pan that we forget about. There are some people, though, who have the ability to recall those images. They're called super recognisers. Central London has one of the largest concentrations of security cameras in the world. But even if they're caught on camera, criminals can still slip through the net.
You can have all the images in the world, but unless somebody looks at it and says, I know that, I'll finish it.
Let's go.
A face is just a face. To track someone down, police need a name. So the Meta building up a select group of officers, the super recognisers, who have an exceptional ability to identify suspects.
We know they've got some kind of unique thing in their brain that remembers the cases. We're trying to find out what it is, but does it matter? I don't really care what it is, as long as it works.
We're about to see an example of exactly how well it does work for the Metropolitan Police. 2 expert thieves are targeting London's bars and clubs. It will take a super recogniser to stop them. It's early evening in a busy coffee shop, and someone's night is about to be ruined. This woman, who's checking her phone, pays no attention to 2 men who have walked in.
Boom, 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 jump in the live, let me know you're getting on, people.
But the 2 men are taking a very good look at everybody else, especially this woman.
Friday night
She
live
put her
stream,
phone
let's
down
go.
on the table in front of her, which proves to be a big mistake.
Hi, I'm fine, how are you?
The 2 men pull out magazines from their jackets and start offering them for sale to the customers. Nobody's interested, but this pair don't care, because they already got what they came for, and they leave. It's
a
difficult
brick.
to see what's just happened, but watching again, we can see how this man distracts the woman by placing his magazine over her phone while talking to her non-stop. At the same time, using expert sleight of hand, he grips the phone between his fingers and quickly leaves. The woman actually tidies up the disturbed piece of paper without spotting her phone is missing. But then, clearly sensing something's wrong, she starts to search for it.
This is quite typical behaviour of a victim, to look around, where's my mobile phone, did I put it on the table, did I put it in my bag, and then there will be a moment of realisation that the gentleman that offered her the magazine has indeed stolen her mobile phone, and then panic will set in. It's something that I watch
No one
on
bites
CCTV
dust.
time and time again.
No
People
one bites
do not
dust.
really want to believe badly of other people, and that's why members of the public can't believe it's happened to them. However, obviously, there are bad people out there that will take your items.
That's something Veronica is now painfully aware of. It was her phone that was stolen, and this is the first time she's seen the footage of the theft.
Oh my god!
Oh, it's you.
I hadn't realized they were standing there. Oh, that was so easy. Oh my god. They were standing and planning it, like right in front of me.
Veronica can see why she was an easy target, because she was busy revising for her degree exams.
I was completely indulged in my book, and I wasn't really paying attention to anything that was happening around me. Anything. When I actually realized that my phone was gone, I felt like my body went really cold and I couldn't breathe. And then I said it out loud. I was like, oh my god, my phone's gone.
And of course, with smartphones these days, it's not just the monetary value that's taken from you. Veronica lost the contact details of all her friends and hundreds of photographs.
I cried a lot. I cried a lot. And like for the whole day.
And sadly, Veronica isn't the only one to suffer the hand of these 2 particular thieves.
So we had 8 victims that had their mobile phones stolen.
Their faces keep popping up on CCTV at places where thefts have occurred. But short of actually being there when the crimes are taking place, the police can't catch these thieves without their names. Here they are on the prowl again. They spot their next victim
Gotcha.
through a door. It's this man, concentrating on his meal and paper with his phone enticingly on view. The men split up, One goes to the counter.
He is looking at the menu, creating a distraction for the staff behind the counter, so the staff are more concentrating on him rather than the other suspect.
The other man makes a beeline for the phone. He quickly covers it under a magazine he's pretending to sell. Oblivious to the threat, the customer just wants to get back to his dinner. But his phone has vanished. From it first being spotted, it has gone in less than 60 seconds. These thieves are so brazen because they know that in a busy place, most of us pay little attention to the faces around us. Another one of the victims, Mona, is about to get a shock when she watches the footage of Veronica's phone being stolen.
These two guys are the exact two guys that did the same thing.
Yeah, motherfucker. Just watch my
In a
shotgun.
city, thieves can disappear into a sea of faces within seconds.
I don't think I'd recognise them as I saw them again, because they didn't look out of the ordinary.
This is the problem facing the police. They have clear images of this pair, but nobody knows who they are.
Good images are fantastic, but unless somebody looks at it and says, I know that face, then there's no point getting it in the first place.
Step forward, the super recognisers. Officers with an unusual ability to recall the previous occasions they've seen a face. This man is one of them. Ironically, we can't show you his face because he works undercover.
I think I've always remembered faces. So I know I've seen someone before, things like that. So often it's having to go back and put a name to the face that you know, looking back through searches and the dealings that you've had with someone.
A few years ago, the Met didn't realise just how many of these super recogniser officers they had within the force. But the London riots in 2011 changed all that. With so many suspects caught on video, an online database of mugshots was created that every police officer in the Met could study.
More super recognisers came to the fore. So where before we might have had 20 super recognisers, now we've got 250.
The results were astounding.
And a one bite to death.
5,000 arrests from the London disorder, and we've had at least 3,000 of those are simply CCTV driven, and about 20% of the identifications.
Jump in, don't forget to like and follow.
The super recognisers are
And
officers
share.
and detectives who go about normal police business and just happen to have this talent for recognition. Our undercover officer here is about to make a breakthrough with this particular pair of criminals. When their mugshots were put up on the police database, he knew he'd come across them some months before.
Myself and my colleague were in a coffee shop on Oxford Street, and we noticed that they came upstairs, no drinks. Often a tactic used by these people, they'll tend to be on a mobile phone, because people tend to kind of not pay so much attention to someone on a mobile phone now, and lead them to it, which is often just a ploy that I'm using. You can see that they're looking around the table.
At that time, he and a colleague
Let's go.
followed the suspicious pair. They stopped and searched them, but they found nothing on them.
Ultimately, we had to let them go, not to take all the details.
But crucially, they had got their names. And now, months later, this same officer has been looking at the police database and he's recognised two familiar faces.
Yeah, it was that's definitely him.
Records from the day he stopped them, and finally, the police put names to their faces. With names, Keegan can now track them down and arrest them both.
During the interview, both suspects were shown the CCTV. Then that's when they started talking. Yes, it was them.
In court, the men plead guilty, and they are jailed for a total of 15 months between them. News of their comeuppance provides some comfort for their victim, Veronica.
I was really happy and impressed at how good the police was and counting these guys, because how were they able to fit the pieces together, you know?
With super recognisers about, being caught on camera now means a greater chance of being caught. Full stop.
It's always satisfying to identify people because it does make up for that time. We may not be able to arrest at that point in time where we had to work quite enough to be arrested for it. But now, we've identified the people.
Keep rushing in.
Quite satisfying to make that identification.
So, distraction thieves in the way that Veronica was.
Keep your wits about you. Make sure that if someone bumps into you in the street, approaches you at a table, particularly if they've got a map or newspaper or something to cover the table, but they're not stealing your phone, purse or wallet.
Do keep your property either in your hand or out of sight.
In the West End, there's a common thing with hugger-muggers whereby they'll come up to people in the street, they'll dance around them and hug them, pretending to be drunken friends, but actually at the time they're doing that, they'll steal their wallet from the back pocket, unbeknown to the victim.
Coming up caught red-handed, two men dumped dangerous asbestos.
It makes you sick because of what's doing in the general public.
But these reckless fly tippers haven't reckoned on the hidden eyes watching that will tip off the police.
We know that some people need a helping hand more than others when the power goes on. If you have a child under 5, below the age of 60, have a disability, or depend on electricity for medical care, sign up to our free Priority Services Register for extra support during a power cut. Visit our website or call 0330 1010 167.
We are family.
Build an electronic burglar alarm. Or a lie detector. How about a radio? These easy circuits clip together in moments. Amaze your friends again and again. Over 100 circuits and experiments. Hot wires. The flying start in electronics. Rubik's Cube from ID. Every Tuesday we just eat the gialis because you've got to support local.
Because Tuesday's your turn to wash up.
I wasn't aware we had a rota, Stephen.
You wrote it, Bruno.
For nights in and everything else.
So, now with a mood-uplifting fragrance. Wow, it smells that good. Always keep away from children.
But first, the story of a thirsty thief who learned to his cost not to have one drink too many.
Let's go.
Tower in the West Midlands. This CCTV camera is situated inside a pub. A man strolls in, but the pub closed hours ago, and this is no late night lock-in. It's a break-in. This man is about to rob the place and cause hundreds of pounds worth of damage. But then he will make an absurd mistake. It had been closed for 3 years before business partners Nikki and Mike decided to open it up.
It's been hard, very hard, because it was pretty derelict. It just took a lot of sweat and blood and tears, and to get where we are now, it's everywhere, it's a pain. Which Mike sorted all that out, to be fair.
Been running bars in Tamworth about 15, 16 years now. On a few pubs in town. We've been here for 2 years. It's a great building, lovely pub.
Don't really get any trouble, everybody knows our first name, which is a bit annoying sometimes. Especially when you're walking down the street, right, Nikki, you don't even know who that is, but I'm going to say that anyway.
But one night, trouble does come along. Mike and Nikki live off the premises and the pub is empty. Around 3 a.m, a man forces his way in through the outside door and enters the bar. Then, to avoid suspicion from passers-by, he wedges the door shut with a chair. Obviously thirsty, but too lazy to get a glass, he leans over the counter and helps himself to beer, straight out of the tap. But it's not just cold lager he's come for. he's also looking for cold hard cash. He brought a carrier bag of tools with him and he sets to work on the fruit machine. After a few very forceful nudges, he cleans it out of coins. He then tries the pool table but can't find any money. He goes back to the one-armed bandit, and now this bandit really hits the jackpot, the banknotes. Still not satisfied, he tries damaging the pool table to see if that helps to find the money, but eventually gives up. In total, he's stolen around £2,000. He then makes his getaway. And that should be that. But it isn't.
He actually gets away with the crime. He's gone. 2 grand in cash, gets away scot-free. How stupid is he then to actually come back into the building thinking he's safe, thinking he's, happy days?
Yes, just 45 minutes later, he's back. He fancies some more free drinks in his new favourite local. This time, he even pours a couple of glasses. And then he wanders across to the nice comfortable seating in an alcove and disappears into the shadows. And doesn't come back out. What is he doing? As dawn breaks, a friend of mine, the landlord, Wes, goes past the pub and notices the open door.
He's first on the scene, front doors open, walks into the scene of devastation, cash and smashed glass and machines everywhere. There's a screwdriver on the table, there's a hammer to one side. Then he notices that there's a body on the seating.
Wes decides to get help from the newsagents next door.
A bit of backup, he's still wearing, so you just sort of turn the lights on, doesn't move, is he dead? As you say, he just pokes him, not quite sure what to expect. If he's going to jump up and run, if he's going to jump up and start fighting, or if he was dead. And then he sits up and he's like, hello?
It turns out that after sinking pints, this thief curled up and sank into a deep sleep in the very pub he'd just robbed. Wes calls the police. It's one of the easiest arrests they're ever likely to make. Mike has watched the CCTV footage back many times. As heist movies go, this is no Ocean's 11. He still cannot believe the man's stupidity.
Second and third attempt on the pool table. What he's taking off there is the mechanism which actually puts the coins into the table, worth no value whatsoever. Again, being up there in the league of the world's dumbest, he doesn't check.
Luckily, Nicky had taken away the previous bank holiday weekend's takings, and insurance covers any loss. But the boozy burglar had done a lot of damage.
You only feel sick, if I'm honest, because you think you've got all your hard work and stuff, even friends and family help, they go out the way to help you, and then
Where is everyone else?
just nobody, just to come in within a couple of hours and just not wipe you out. Pretty much that's how it felt, really, because it just puts down on the situation, because you've got to get your back up and running. People to come out and sort the machines, put new machines in, totally clean the place, and everyone had to come in and clean the place because he'd been putting his mouth around the beer taps, and it's just wild.
The intruder pleads guilty to the burglary. Not much choice, really. And is sentenced to 3 months in prison. Mike and Nicky have now improved security on the building. M's Bar is a much safer place after hours.
Yes, so since this has happened, we've had another 4 locks put on the front door.
It's like Fort Knox, I like locking up Fort Knox. The night-time bolts, padlocks, chains, the lot.
In 700 years of history, this building is unlikely to have seen anything quite as absurd as this dozy building.
Come back and fall asleep in bed. That is the most stupidest thing I've ever heard anybody do.
It's chocolate lolly maker. Melt some chocolate, pick a lolly shape, add sticks of melted chocolate, choose a secret message, stamp it, twist and wrap in shiny foil for you and your friends. The amazing chocolate lolly maker with secret messages from John Adams.
Wash your dog without getting wet. Spray the water, throw the dice, and turn the tap. He loves to shade Soggy Doggy from Ideal.
Hey, Sainsbury's, how can we make this Christmas a bit more fizz-whizzy?
This Christmas, Sainsbury's is working with Comic Relief to donate over 5 million meals to families up and down the country to help fight food poverty. Sainsbury's, good food for all of us.
Let's go.
This is Millie, the stain machine. When stains happen, her parents leave them gone fast. But long washes take too long. Save time with Vanish. Take the Vanish Quick Wash Challenge. Tackle dirty and 30 with a quick wash. One scoop in every wash lifts stains fast, as detergent alone can't always keep up. Challenge beaten. Stains gone, quick. Trust Vanish, forget stains.
We're in a limestone cave where we're going to test Finish Rinse Aid against tough residues. Here, like in the rinse cycle of your dishwasher, residues can form on your dishes due to hard water deposits, tough spots, relentless clouds. They can make the cleanest dishes look dirty. Finish Rinse Aid diffuses water droplets during the rinse cycle and is 100% more effective in preventing visible limescale residues than our best detergent alone. For a diamond shine, even in tough conditions.
Whatever gives their dreaming on, there's more fire to Argos.
Next, a frightening tale of callous people dumping rubbish. Fly tipping is bad enough, but what if the rubbish was dangerous and toxic and it was dumped right next door to your house? Just outside Chorley, Lancashire. These images are from CCTV cameras on private land, set up by the owner to watch over his garage. A car pulls up off the main road and parks up. Two men in workman's clothes get out. They open the bonnet and start to inspect the engine. Maybe it's car trouble. But no. A few moments later, their true purpose is revealed.
There's no excuse for dumping on other people's property, particularly dangerous waste. They know what it is, they know what's involved, and it's inexcusable.
These are fly tippers, dumping dangerous waste on an innocent person's land. It's a material that can have lethal properties. Asbestos.
In its solid form, it's generally no danger to anybody. It's as soon as it starts degrading, that's when you get fibre release. They obviously go into the lung. At the end of the day, asbestos is a carcinogenic.
Asbestos is known to cause lung disease, but originally it was considered a cost-effective wonder material. It was widely used in construction during the 60s and 70s until it was found to be unsafe. But it has left a dangerous legacy across the UK. To avoid the charges for disposing of asbestos properly, some unscrupulous fly tippers dump it illegally. In another area, Ashford, Middlesex, Doreen and Veronica, residents in this road, have faced a serious health risk. A reckless fly tipper started dumping asbestos waste in the lane that runs behind their homes. And it wasn't just a small amount. There was a whole load of it.
The first time I saw the fly tipping, I was just shocked to see the amount of asbestos that was there.
Door opens at the moment, but when the asbestos was down here, it didn't. You couldn't get the door open because it was right the way up here. Plus letters that they set fire to. Obviously had their names and addresses on it, and they didn't want to.
Thank you for the follow, very much appreciated.
The dumping of asbestos.
Thank you for the rose.
The residents are
Thank you very much appreciated.
Can call the press and the council, but as soon as the council removes the asbestos waste, the fly tipper returns.
But we never heard them come, so they must have come in the middle of the night or the early hours of the morning.
It went on for months.
Doreen has a theory as to why their lane has been targeted.
There's not many other alleys here that you can drive down and drive out the other side of. Quite a lot of them, they go into dead end and then go reverse back. We wouldn't want to reverse over down this asbestos because he'd get the fumes in his lungs.
But to go about their daily business, residents have no choice but to drive over the piles of waste.
When you drive down there, you break the asbestos up into bits. It gives off fumes and dust.
We have a lot of children that use the back alley with their parents when they're learning to ride their bikes. The parents take the children to school, they cut through the alleyway.
Animals will come down, the cats and dogs, and they'll sniff everywhere. They take it into their lungs as well. They kill them all, just because he can't be bothered to pay his way.
A callous fly tipper dumps it here to avoid the cost of getting it disposed of safely. That cost can vary, depending on how much asbestos there is and where it's removed from.
Bada bing, bada bing. Thank you for the likes.
A removal service, and so do specialist companies like the one Rich Greening runs.
In its solid form, it's generally no danger to anybody. It's as soon as it starts degrading, it starts getting broken, that's when you get fibre release. Once you breathe in the asbestos fibres, they enter the lung, you can then contract all asbestos-related lung diseases.
Rich's team have to take extreme measures to protect themselves from the dust.
I mean, initially we have to set up a shower unit, we have to cordon off the area, we have to build airlocks, fan locks, we have a device called a negative pressure unit, which cleans the air whilst we're inside the enclosure.
While inside the isolation zone, the team wear protective suits and face masks. As they break away the asbestos fibres, they use a spray to help break down any fibres released into the air before sealing them in heavy-duty bags. And that's not the half of it.
When the guys leave the enclosure, they wipe down, vacuum down, take off their red suit in the dirty end. Then they go into what's called the clean area, placed on a blue transit suit, which they can then walk out of the enclosure whilst keeping their mask on. This comes off in no time, straight to the shower unit. They still keep their mask on, shower for a minimum of 10 to 15 minutes. They can then remove it while showering, and that's the process.
Knowing the lengths professionals go to avoid contamination, it seems unbelievable that anybody would deliberately expose these Ashford residents by repeatedly dumping asbestos right behind their homes.
It makes me sick, not because the likes of what people within my industry are doing and we're losing the work. It makes you sick because of what it's doing to the general public, what it's doing to children. Something needs to change. People like this shouldn't get away with it.
And back up in Chorley, Lancashire, these fly tippers aren't going to get away with it. We saw them earlier, going to great lengths to avoid drawing attention. Waste of time, really, seeing as their every move is recorded on camera.
The ceiling just managed to get the bonnet up, and this is all part of the cover, because this is to say we just pulled up because there's an engine failure or we've got a problem with the car. But the point is, it's a distraction from the real reason why they've moved into the area.
They start removing asbestos sheets from the roof rack and throw them down the side of the garage. Then they get disturbed.
He's just put that back onto the roof. There must be someone coming into the area. Both of them now are looking very serious at this engine. It's obviously been perfectly good working order.
And there they remain until the person passes. Then the two men resume their dumping.
It's something they've thought about, it's something they've planned.
The crazy thing is, in this case, it's not a huge amount they're dumping, so it wouldn't have cost much for the council to have taken it.
There's no reason why you can't afford the charge of maybe £20 or £30 to dispose of the waste legally.
Last sheet dumped, the men get ready to leave, seemingly unconcerned that the owner of this land will stumble upon their toxic rubbish.
They think they've got away with it. What we don't know is we've got two cameras that have seen everything right from the start to the very end.
The garage owner soon finds the asbestos and sends this footage to the council. Police are able to identify the car driver and arrest him. He pleads guilty at court. He is sentenced to 60 days in prison in order to pay £1,400 in costs to the council. It's a serious and expensive sentence.
The fact that it's asbestos has a big impact on the outcome of the sentence, no doubt about that at all. The deliberate act of taking it there, the deliberate act of trying to cover what we were doing all the time, knowing what the material was, makes it very, very sort of malicious and also very reckless.
And back down in Ashford, Middlesex, the other reckless asbestos fly tipper.
Gotcha, motherfucker!
This time, by a vigilant neighbour.
Fortunately, the lady around the corner managed to catch them. She had, because she's on the corner, she heard them tipping it, went round out to get the lorry, they'd gone round the back, so she dashed the other way and got the number plate, and it was only then that we got some relief from all these threats.
A man is arrested and is sentenced to 6 months imprisonment, suspended for 18 months. He also has to carry out 150 hours unpaid work for depositing illegal waste and pay £3,000 in costs. Both of these cars flight tippers made a big mistake.
It's cost them a hell of a lot more being caught, as they were, than it would have done just by picking up the phone, speaking to the local authority and saying, what's the best way of dealing with this, with the waste that we've got.
Since then, thankfully, no more asbestos has been dumped in the lake.
Giving that dust in their lungs is not doing anyone any good. So I'm
Well, on top of the building.
That's it for today. Join us next time when the police and the public catch more criminals red-handed.
Let's open it, why not?
We know that some people need a helping hand more than others when the power goes out. If you have a child under 5, are over the age of 60, have a disability, or depend on electricity for medical care, sign up to our free priority services.
Motherfucker got me. Thank you for the follow, very much appreciated.
Fighters for the rest of our lives. And the general public too can help unsuspecting crooks get their comeuppance.
No way are you getting away. We'll do it for everyone else as well that you like stealing from.
We will name and shame it.
So, anyone who's up to no good, do better twice. They might just get caught red-handed. Today, at first, this man seems friendly, but suddenly the charm turns to harm. He's about to pull out a knife.
It obviously gains the girl's trust, and to then suddenly pull a knife out of his bag and just charge in.
He aims to rob a safe, but he has many cameras aiming at him. Also today, airport bag snatching.
He was rapidly becoming Heathrow's most prolific offender, and we obviously knew that we needed to ramp up our efforts to try and catch him.
The tricky task of bagging a Heathrow master thief. And it's hardly smash and grab. This gang of 3 take nearly 3 hours to break in. $8:15 in the morning in southern South London.
Don't get the live for me, people.
CCTV cameras set up to watch over a casino arcade that's open 24 hours a day. The young manageress in the office is getting on with her people. A man wearing casual clothes walks in. He may not look threatening, but in his bag he is carrying a large knife. The young woman goes out to see what he wants. He concocts a story, telling the woman he was in here last night and that he had somehow lost his favourite ring. They start a search. After a few minutes, the manager goes out to the office, unaware that this man is about to turn violently against her. At first, he waits outside. Then suddenly, he pulls out the knife. His true intention is to rob the safe.
To be confronted with a guy wielding a massive knife. Words can't describe how terrified you must be.
It's a horrible crime, it's a callous crime. She must have actually been scared for her life. You know, she would not have known what this man was going to do next.
Although what unfolds is terrifying for the young woman, we'll see shortly how her brave actions set in motion a sequence of events that lead to the capture of a callous criminal. Across the UK in 2012, police recorded more than 15,000 robberies that involved a knife, a cold statistic about a crime that's on the increase. But behind the statistic, there are real people. More than 15,000 victims, all of whom must have felt for a very few terrifying seconds that their lives were literally on a knife edge.
At that moment when he pulled the knife on me, it was just fear. That's all I could think of was fear.
Albin was attacked by a robber with a knife in an incident unrelated to the one in Sutton. He was working at a convenience store when an armed man burst in and slashed at him.
As I stood back as he attacked me with the knife, he just luckily caught my left shoulder. But he was going for my neck at the time.
The robber escaped with cash from the till, Albin escaped with his life. But the shock of what happened stayed with him.
I went for a state, a very old state. I mean, the next day after the day it happened, I was in a state. I didn't want to get out of bed. It must have been all the stress and the pressure the previous day.
It took him months off work to get over the ordeal.
I'm back in the shop. I'm still working there. And as I like to say, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. I'm more confident. But I know in a situation like that, money ain't worth getting killed over.
But sadly, there are plenty of criminals who believe money is worth threatening to kill people over. But back to the events at the Sutton arcade, one of the more unusual aspects is that when the man first walks in, he doesn't look threatening at all.
I don't think you would have thought anything of it really to see him walking down the street. In fact, he actually looks quite presentable. He's got sort of a bag over his shoulder. He's quite trendy, really.
Not somebody who would generally fit the profile of this type of offence.
Both Detective Constable Emily Marshall
Don't forget to like the live on TikTok for me. Any gifts are very much appreciated. Give me a follow, and if you can't subscribe to my channel,
It's around 8 o'clock in the morning.
try to grow my platform, as you can see. Live on Twitch and TikTok right now.
The young manageress who's working alone sees him arrive on a
Share with your friends.
She leaves the protection of her
Anyone that likes gameplays, it's not just Fortnite, I do different gameplays.
He was asking if she'd seen
And I will be starting to do horror gameplay. I do have jump scares activated over on my Twitch, so you can jump scare me.
place for the missing jewellery. All the time, the two
And yes, it does shit me up.
She seems particularly trusting of him. He spends a good bit of time with him trying to help him out, really.
That in itself is I think it's very unusual. He's trying to build some sort of rapport with his victim effectively, which is, in this type of robbery, which is what it is, you wouldn't expect that to happen.
In fact, the man is coldly planning at some stage to turn violently against this helpful young woman. But for now, he gives nothing away.
He goes out the back of the to where the toilets are, and he says, "Oh, can I just have a look out the back?"
He's possibly casing the joint, for want of a better phrase, looking to where he might be able to hide and commit the offence he's going to commit.
Now the man finds a way to get the manageress to open up the office, presumably because he thinks that's where the cash is kept.
He says, "Oh, can I leave my name and address so that if my ring turns up, if you can let me know?"
She's now going into the door.
She tells him, "You can't come in here, staff area."
But the man places his foot in the opening to keep the door from shutting.
He reaches down to the bag that he's got over his shoulder.
He gets hold of the large knife he has hidden in his bag. Then, for a brief moment, he seems to hesitate.
You can almost see the thought, wait, do I pull the knife out or not? He's made that decision, he's made that choice. And then, from his point of view, there's probably no going back. He has to go through what he's going to do.
I think that's the most shocking thing, seeing that large kitchen knife. It obviously gains the girl's trust. And to then suddenly pull a knife out of his bag and just charge him.
He forcefully barges in and pushes the young manageress to the floor.
This poor girl, she's just coming through those work.
Complete shock and fear.
You see her shaking, and Even my sister's policing himself, and it's quite disturbing just to watch that.
He then tells her, open the safe and look away from me.
The woman's fear is heightened as she now can't see what the armed robber is up to.
She must have actually been scared for her life. She was not allowed to do things.
What he does do, while the young manageress stands shaking in terror, is empty pots of money from the safe into his bag.
With very much my reputation. Got away with it for the effort not to fear that to put this woman through.
She's a lone female on her own, and this man is considerably bigger than her, and yet he still felt the need to pull out a knife.
Once the menacing stranger has emptied the safe of cash, it's estimated to be about £1,800, he gets ready to leave, and he issues one more frightening threat.
He tells her, don't call the police, there's somebody watching from
Motherfucker!
outside.
And then he just casually exits.
Walks out onto the street, blends into the crowd really. You wouldn't know that he'd just committed this awful robbery.
But the police are going to learn about it sooner rather than later, because back in the casino office, the young manageress bravely ignores the robber's warning and dials 999. Emily is one of those that goes to investigate.
Spoke to the girl, she was obviously very distressed, but she was really good and helped us and gave us some really useful information.
Crucially, she also gives Emily the camera footage.
We don't see CCTV as clear as that generally. Certainly not seeing the actual weapon and exactly the reactions and of what's happened, but getting such a good facial image was brilliant.
Later, back at the station, the armed robber's face is scrutinised to see if anyone knows who he is. And Detective Constable Mark Turner sees the footage.
I looked at it and I just thought, I know this guy. I know him somewhere. It's near Kensington. It's Kensington. A flash of light.
As we'll see shortly, it's now this villain's turn to be scared.
We know that some people need a helping hand more than others when the power goes out. If you have a child under 5 or over the age of 60, have a disability.
Possibly the same gang had targeted the shop 3 times in just 7 months. In the hope of putting burglars off trying their luck again, Corrie has updated his security, including 16 CCTV cameras. But tonight, the arrival of these hooded figures shows that despite the increased security, they're still going to try and break in. As they approach the rear of the building, a security light comes on. One of the gang climbs up and smashes the bulb. But the cameras still have night vision. The gang find some metal in an outdoor store cupboard and head for a window. They try to prise it open with a pole, but only succeed in tripping another security light. The pole's used to smash the bulb instead. Next, they try to lever off the new security bars from another window, but they're not budging. After a bit more scouting about, they spot a possible way in, an air vent that's just off camera, high up on the exterior wall of the shop. One of them fetches a wheelie bin so they can reach it. The vent has been ripped up, but they start to chip away at it in the hope that eventually they will make a breakthrough. And perseverance is not something these 3 have a lack of. They chisel away at those bricks for 2.5 hours. Finally, they make an opening big enough to get through. The pace of the raid gets much faster, grabbing expensive bags, carrying and throwing them out through the hole onto some sacking below. They manage to steal 50 bags. It's a haul worth £30,000. Police arrive just minutes later. It looks like the thieves have got away with it, but these CCTV pictures alert police to the methods this gang uses. And a little time later, police catch a set of burglars, and they were tried and put in prison. Since then, Corrie has had no more burglaries. To make sure things stay like that, he has reinforced his defences again, especially the air vent. Coming up on Caught Red-Handed, a different type of bag snatcher at an airport.
You could still want that, and it could be thousands of pounds.
Special visual tracking, plus the sharp eyes of a child, help catch a
Let's go, let's go, let's go. Come on.
But first, we're back in Sutton in South London. Detective Constable Emily Marshall is part of a team that goes to investigate a robbery at night point in a casino arcade.
Anybody who does commit these kind of offences will look to target them because it has a huge impact on victims of these crimes, but also the community in general. So we will throw everything at it.
They have clear CCTV footage of the crime from inside the building, and as the casino is situated on the high street, Emily can check the council's street cameras to see if they've picked anything up.
We've got some camera footage from outside on the high street, and that shows him leaving and getting into a cab outside the British Rail station.
Within half an hour, the police can see how the man got away. Wearing a distinctive black hat, he can be picked out as he walks past a bus stop and then gets in a cab.
Officers have waited at the station for that taxi to return, and they've spoken to the driver, and that vehicle has been taken back to the police station so it can be examined for forensics.
The cameras inside the casino also help speed up the process of gathering evidence.
A forensic examiner saw the CCTV so could see what the guy had done and where he'd emptied the pots and things, and from those again we managed to get some good fingerprints.
It's unclear why the robber chose not to wear gloves or hide his face from the cameras. Maybe he thinks he's anonymous to the police and believes that without a name they won't be able to catch him. Back at the police station, Emily gets other officers to view the crime to see if anyone's come across the man before. Detective Constable Mark Turner has just started his shift.
I was made aware that there'd been this nasty nightclub robbery.
Thank you for the follow, very much appreciated.
Who this guy was, so I asked to look at the footage.
To avoid mistakes and ensure identifications are legally valid, officers must follow a strict procedure.
Legislation dictates if an officer makes an identification on CCTV, they should do it alone. So you need to be viewing this in an area we're not going to be disturbed by other people.
Mark's worked in Sutton for 7 years and has banked up a lot of images of faces.
I looked at it and I just thought, I know this guy. I know him somewhere. I need to rack my brains as to where I've seen him before. That was it really. It just came to me. Like a flash of light.
Just over 4 hours after the unknown armed robber walked into the casino, they now know who he is. Over a year earlier, Mark had sat in on a police interview with him.
He actually struck me as quite a charming individual. You know, he would talk quite very spoken. He does have boyish looks that you don't often see on this type of footage.
And there was one other thing that made the man stand out.
After the interview, there was references made to sort of films that he liked. In particular, he made reference to the film Catch Me If You Can, which stars Leonardo DiCaprio, as I recall, and in the film, generally talks about sexual looks. And it seems to me the type of image that trying to convey to police officers at the time.
This turns into a manhunt. A crime squad is dispatched to play real life. Catch me if you can, and catch it, they do.
Charged that same day he was arrested. He didn't give an account in interview, he didn't tell us anything.
While awaiting his court case, he has time to mull things over, and not surprisingly, ends up pleading guilty.
The fact that the CCTV footage is so clear, and we did have fingerprints both in the taxi and the pots, it's really hard to try and put a defence forward for that.
He gets sentenced to 8 years in prison for the armed robbery and a further 2 years for another offence.
There's more serious features to robbery, and the knife being one of them, and that obviously would come into play on him getting such a serious sentence, which is a really good result.
Obviously, I was satisfied. I was really pleased. It's a premeditated effort. He turned up to the venue with a knife. with intention of causing absolute fear and horror for that lady, that individual. It's heinous, it's horrible.
To be honest, anybody that is thinking of going out and doing something like this, they need to be aware that we'll be there and they need to think twice.
The police will find out who you are and they will come down on you. People will be brought to justice and carry knives.
We know that some people need a helping hand more than others when the power goes out. If you have a child under 5, are over the age of 60, have a disability, or depend on electricity for medical care, sign up to our free Priority Services Register for extra support during a power cut. Visit our website or call 0330 1010 167.
This story begins with a night that will change our lives forever. On December 20, witness the beginning. Destiny awaits you. It's on December 20. Book tickets now.
There's the hard way to use fragrance to set the mood in an instant. Or there's the Airwick way. Introducing our Essential Mist Diffuser, infused with natural essential oils, with 4 intensity settings for our best ever fragrance experience. It's perfectly portable and glows as it mists, giving a relaxing ambience in an instant. Set the mist, get the mood. Now that's a breath of fresh Airwick. And now create your winter wonderland with festive fragrances.
We're in a limestone cave where we're going to test Finish Rinse Aid against tough residues. Here, like in the rinse cycle of your dishwasher, residues can form on your dishes due to hard water deposits, tough spots, relentless clouds. They can make the cleanest dishes look dirty. Finish Rinse Aid diffuses water droplets during the rinse cycle and is 100% more effective in preventing visible limescale residues than our best detergent alone. For a diamond shine, even in tough conditions.
Now to a different sort of criminal, a master bag snatcher at Heathrow Airport. Heathrow Airport, Terminal 4 departure. After the stress of getting to the airport on time, passengers are anxiously looking to check in their luggage. But camouflaged amidst the hustle and bustle, there are some people who are checking out the passengers' bags for a very different reason: to steal them. Sometimes a CCTV camera catches one of them in action. Like this man. He's already clocked his target. It's a small rucksack hanging on the handle of a passenger's trolley. The thief heads past it off-screen and positions himself to swoop in from a better angle. When the passenger is distracted enough, he pounces and disappears into the crowd.
He was rapidly becoming Heathrow's most prolific offender, and we obviously knew that we needed to ramp up our efforts to try and catch him.
The Metropolitan Police used their special video unit called VIDA to sift and cross-refer footage from many cameras at the airport to get the evidence they need to send this bag snatcher to jail.
Fuck's sakes!
Heathrow Airport is one of the busiest in the world, with thousands of travellers passing through every day. And where there are lots of people, there are lots of bags.
Thieves like to come to the airport because they know that people carry a lot of cash with them when they're in transit, and they know people will have valuables such as jewellery in their hand luggage.
You could steal one bag, and then it could be £50 in it. And the next bag, you're very lucky, and it could be thousands of pounds in it.
It's not just the amount of loot that draws thieves here. It's also the large number of opportunities that present themselves.
People are more vulnerable at the airport because they're distracted, say, by the check-in process or just the busy, frenetic environment they're in.
Airports are always busy. Thieves
good, brother.
crowd as they look for easy pickings.
This passenger is engaged in the online booking process. His attention's exclusively on the screen in front of him, and he has no awareness of his bag that's behind him. And that would be a good opportunity for a professional bag thief to come in at that point and remove the baggage.
Passports, money, valuables, gadgets could all be gone in seconds.
Oh, not good, bro. It's quite to drive at night here.
Her laptop was stolen when she was flying out to Kenya to visit her family for Christmas.
My friend rang me to say goodbye, so I just thought, right, I'll just sit down, put my bag down on the seat next to me, put the laptop on top of my bag, take the call, and I wasn't wearing my glasses, so I was squinting and focusing on the screens. When I got up to go, I realised that my laptop was gone. I felt devastated. You know, there was just so much on there that was irreplaceable. Every word I'd ever written for my degree was on that laptop. So it's just an awful time.
Detective Constable Steve Gregg helps catch the criminals that cause so much misery for passengers. Recently, there was one specific individual who everybody was looking out for.
This particular offender is a professional thief. It's effectively what he does to support himself. We have captured and prosecuted him in the past, and he served prison sentences for those offences. After he served the prison sentence, he perhaps will stay away from the airport for a period of time, but then I guess he just can't help himself and he will return.
I've been doing a bit of both. Been doing the OG season and I've been doing
this is the prolific bag
the new season, obviously, is out at the minute, and then that new one, that ballistics, is it's quite good. I'll get used to it.
Just biding his time for the right moment to steal. This time, he's after a bag.
Always work, bro.
He targets people who he perceives to be affluent. We know that he does profile middle-aged Asian women who he perceives will be carrying a lot of Asian jewellery in their hand luggage.
He thinks he's onto a room here, but the young daughter of the family vigilantly watches the luggage. He's going to have to wait longer, and he grabs a trolley to make his loitering seem less obvious. One of the reasons he's chosen this family is that they've settled themselves right next to his favourite escape route, the exit for the London Tube.
He doesn't just offend at Heathrow Airport, he's also worked the underground system, the tube network, and what we've found is that he will actually offend en route to the airport and even on occasion as he's returning home after offending at the airport.
The family decides to offload some of their luggage by a wall. The daughter diligently stands guard over it and turns to face the remaining direction. He's not keen on this, so heads for a different location out of her view. The mum with the bag he's after takes the trolley to check in their suitcases. The man knows she's going to be served, so sticks it down. When she comes back, she sits on the trolley with her back to the highway. Things are beginning to look easier for the bag snatcher. There's now just the daughter to contend with.
It's a classic. Feel like your team
a moment later, she wanders on. He takes his chance. He checks his escape route is clear.
Not doing too well tonight, not gonna lie.
I think you could open a can of Coke for me. I reckon you could do a can of Coke.
The daughter spots him and alerts her mum, but it's too late. He's running.
So Ethan is going first.
The crime is reported, and the police ask for footage from the airport's CCTV cameras. This has to be sifted, and that's a task for a special unit. It's called the Visual Images Identifications and Detections Office, or VIDO for short.
In the VIDO unit, we are expected to look at any potential area where an event has happened. It could be from assault, it could be a bag crime, it could be shoplifting. We would investigate that CCTV, get the whole package together, which could be produced in court.
With a forensic eye on duty, they also trawl for the clearest images of the criminal from other cameras.
A job can take 3, 4, maybe 5 hours to actually get the best possible image to make an identification
About snatching, image is sent out to plainclothes officers who patrol the forecourt.
There was a whole lot of officers that would recognise him on site. And also British Transport Police were also mounting their own plainclothes patrols.
And the intelligence gathered by the VIDO unit pays off.
In this gentleman was actually caught on the transport network as he was in transit to Heathrow Airport. He was recognised by a British Transport Police officer who intercepted him and he was arrested.
These are the worst roads, and they had yet to lie about
Chris Daniel was stolen £13,000, which is obviously a significant amount, and perhaps get insight into why they were sent here as opposed to their local high street.
in court. He's sentenced to 32 months in prison.
As a text message. This is going to be fun, I'll tell you what.
His nearest presence at the airport was the police with the rest of the prosecution for all brief and terms of that aspect. Obviously, it's tasting when you see people with a checking desk and they're distressed because they've had property stolen. So we're very pleased to move this to the case of the Heathrow environment.
The lovely people at the airline not only upgraded me, but upgraded me upper class with my own air security, and it was just so lovely. It did make me feel
Boom, 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 boom. No, I didn't want to do that. Fucking idiot.
There are obvious we can do to avoid traffic stolen, like keeping a sometimes things you get that or create
One of them would be to drop coins on the floor around the victims, the victim would actually engage the offender in picking the coins up the floor, and maybe an associate would come in and remove the bag of the coin. There's also tactics people use where they will actually deliberately spray the victim's coat with a cream-like substance, maybe butter, which is very common, and they would help the victim in the whole process of dusting themselves down, and then again during that process, a lady associate would come along and actually remove the bag.
So next time we're getting away, we all know to check no one's getting away without luggage. Join us next time when the police and the public catch more criminals.
We know that some people need a helping hand more than others when the power goes out. If you have a child under 5, are over the age of 60, have a disability, or depend on electricity for medical care, sign up to our free Priority Services Register for extra support during the power cuts. Visit our website.
Thank you for the sub.
1010-167.
Thank you, brother.
It's between his kissing cheating. No, I've always been attracted to you.
Let's go. Showing the love, bro. As I said, didn't have to. But I appreciate you, brother. Much love.
I've always been attracted to you. Hey, Joseph. I'm obviously a troll. I've known you porn sites.
I'll take the sardines down. You know what we'll do? We'll rearrange. Have to go like that. Right, yeah.
It's Lily. First day machine. When stains happen, her parents leave them gone fast. But long washes take too long. Save time with Vanish. Take the Vanish Quick Wash Challenge. Tackle dirty and 30 with a quick wash. One scoop in every wash.
Be it's affiliated, bro. I'll sub to his channel straight up. You know that. You know the one.
Stay
Be straight on there.
Vanish.
And And I'll resub to you again next month. As you know, bro, keep the subs coming, mate.
This Christmas a bit more.
This is so good.
It's Christmas. Sainsbury's is working with public relief to donate over
Sub to you both.
to families
Every
all
month.
over the country to help
Repeat,
fight
repeat, repeat.
You've been talking shit.
Sainsbury's, good food for children.
Whatever gives their dreaming on, there's more fire to ask.
Guess what? When and don't lie at my family.
Come with me to the cinema if you'll have me.
Well, when he's subs as well, I'll be straight in his lives, you know that. If I'm up, I'm straight in your lives, always. We're gifting subs to him a lot. Do it for you, brother. Do it for him as well. Oh. Wherever you just gone, I seen them footsteps. Hey, man. Got ya.
I've got a reply already. I've got a reply already, and it's who's on the phone.
They steal our cars, our valuables, just about anything they can get there. To cut down on crime and antisocial behaviour, police and other agencies are using new technology and tactics. When a bad guy actually getting caught in the act, obviously the man actually committed the robbery. Lovely, thank you very much. Local councils, shops and businesses are renting traps of their own. One can really put fighting for the rest of our lives, and the general public too can help unsuspecting crooks get their comeuppance.
We just everyone else as well that's like we will maintain it.
So, anyone who's up to no good, they better think twice. They might just get caught red-handed.
Motherfucker!
A violent attack by armed raiders on a jewelry shop. But they're about to get more than they bargained for.
I was annoyed that they were doing this in our town. I was annoyed that they were terrorising people.
Half the time, have police join forces to chase the robbers down. It's people power in action. Also today, a nasty surprise for car thieves in London, courtesy of the police.
We decided to place the fear of crime back into the criminals, to take our psychological warfare to them.
Putting the fear on the cringe, the hidden power of police technology. And a brazen burglar is caught on camera with his pants down. His chances of getting away with his crime are just hit rock bottom. But first, we're in In 2012, Laos was named Britain's favourite market town by BBC.
You don't want JJ.
Full of little shops, support,
There's a rumour going around about you.
It's almost for the village.
Just that, I think that's it. Heard you're upset about not being invited to my party. You haven't spoken in years.
Ad break coming up, let's go.
I heard you're pregnant. Congrats. Am I sure? Drinks Friday night.
Hi. What second people is affiliated bar, be sure straight to the channel.
Straight to the point, isn't it? I know. I can line you up in it, could be a fruit on him into a Friday night turnout. I've just checked his calendar, Toby's free on Friday night. Is he texting it? I was on the text.
I'm sure there are
If she says yeah, well, you didn't know, did you?
On the day of the race, so
you're still a
meeting with his home. He popped out to buy a sandwich and lunch.
down the main road to the town and very good to take that into a post afterwards. So I thought, well, I'll go and see my stepdaughter Hannah, who works in the shop, walk across the road, walk down to the side.
At that moment, she saw outside the jewellery shop. Parking a double yellow line is just at least they don't care about the noise, all about the manageress, the shop to stand just on camera. Even though she's mainly lost the front door, but yet with the rock.
Gotcha, motherfucker.
Two guys in motorcycle helmets for Hannah, smashing away at the counters, going actually quite well.
Nick decides to take action.
I was annoyed that they were doing what they were doing. I was looked behind me, saw a motorcycle there with the key nicked in. So I thought I'd help the job by taking the key out of my pocket. If nothing else, it would delay because I'll have to go on foot.
Inside the building, robbery attempts have gone on. One of the men has enough and, on camera, he now battles the manageress to force her to open the safe.
That's amazing. Okay, JJ. These are JJ's options for testing Philly. Playing the game, we rated you something out of 10.
I didn't realise it was
Send a picture of blank.
For some reason I thought maybe the shop was locked and left. I tried the door, tried to push the door open, obviously not. Then I thought,
That's my back to voice note yourself whispering ASMR.
This mobile phone shows just how many people are now getting
JJ, I'm going with the hitter. That's my back door when I move you. Come in whenever. I think you hear voice note reply.
On my own,
one of the groups tries to damage the motorcycle if something
Did you test the wrong person?
Meanwhile, at the local police
I mean, our first thoughts were that we wanted to get there as quickly as we can. We have security gates at the police station and they just don't open quickly. Every car that was available, every officer that was available, immediately went out, action centre for the safety of the lady jewellery shops and the public that were around. You just want to get there, you want to catch them and you want to make sure everybody's okay.
but the two armed men inside the building know that they should go on their way, so they're not they head to unlock the doors.
We were holding the door, they were smashing their way back. Obviously with the big shower, so myself and the chap, we pulled our heads down to avoid the showers, but also protect our eyes.
Realising that brute force isn't working, the robbers grabbed the manageress home to unlock the door.
Once we realised that the lady was doing the shop, and they were with harm and wouldn't let her go, basically withdrawing and stepping back.
One of the men heaved the door open and they warned the crowd to back off.
I think it has to be the bloke.
They scrabble with the existing key, but it's not there. It's in the pocket. They decide to surprise it, but Nick and others are found their heels.
themselves at times and just thought, no, we're not having this. The vendors run off. They thought, we're not letting them get away with this in our town, and chased after them.
Later, the desperate armed robbers meet even more determined locals as one of them tries to steal this man's car.
There's no way that I was going to let him have my car, and I would do all I could to make sure he didn't get my car.
And Nick finds himself in a direct confrontation.
He stopped, turned to us with his bullhammer, as though he was threatening us.
The robbers want to run, but the locals aren't about to let them.
We know that some people need a helping hand more than others when the power goes out. If you have a child under 5, are over the age of 60, have a disability, or depend on electricity for medical care, sign up to our free priority services register for extra support during the power cut. Visit our website or call 0330 101167.
Ganged up on by everyone, man. What's going on?
The cave. We are family.